Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday to you. Good morning to, I know Luis has told me he's on, and Devin. Good morning, good morning. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Tell your classmates to log in. If you're joining us just on YouTube, welcome. Good to see you again. Right now, go ahead and get a piece of paper. If you have your anthology and your workshop book, get those. Make sure they're close to you. Good morning, Gabriel G. Hopefully you're on YouTube as well. Good morning, Fernanda. Awesome. Good to see that you're on. All right. All right, good morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you had a good night. So today we're going to just be talking about a lot of different things, mainly with language arts. So make sure you have your workshop book with you so we can go through it. Also, you're going to want to make sure you look at the notes section on Teams if you're on Teams, because this will have all the information that we need to go through. So yesterday, Ms. Wright met with Mrs. Giles and Mr. Davis, and so we're going to be continuing on with Chapter 10 and making sure that you understand how to multiply and add fractions all the way up to the end of the school year. So this chapter and adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions, that's what you need to understand as we go get closer and closer to the end of the school year. So, in regards to our day today, so these are the assignments. Congratulations, Fernanda, for another person to be on Flipgrid. So again, some of you have been on Flipgrid here and there. Luis, you've been doing so well, very consistent. We're going to have a new Flipgrid, very cool. I looked at it. It's coming from Mrs. West. She came in our class, I think, once or twice to teach us. So she's going to be having her own Flipgrid with us. And so I really want you to try it. So thank you, Fernanda. Gabriel G, you've done it one time. Evan's done it one time or a couple of times. So make sure you're consistent, right? Gabriel R's did it a couple of times, Guadalupe. So just make sure that you do it, keep on going. Some of us that haven't tried, good morning, Juliet, haven't tried, try it. Super simple. So I task Cadence to try, Juliet to try, Julian to try. So there's a couple of people that I know that are on teams. That's like I was saying. We're going to look at chapter 10, lesson 2, looking at estimating fractions, the products of fractions. We're going to look at the different terms for poetry, since that's the chapter we're on. Then we're going to look at hopefully the resources for persuasive essay. You're just looking and reading and watching videos for that. You have a ReadWorks assignment, Endangered Animals. This again is another source you can use in your persuasive essay to discuss whether zoos should be or should not be. And then today for PE and art, you're going to be doing 30 minutes of exercise. So Ms. Wright has to do that as well. So assignment from yesterday, which is the Flipgrid where you look for a poem online, you read it. Nice job, Luis, but I'd love to hear some of your other poems. You can take a look at mine and Luis's for an example, but definitely want to try that since that was yesterday's assignment. And if you're wondering, like, where is that? If you look on post, it's there as well as in your assignment. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see if there's anybody else who's here. Good morning, Breeza. Hopefully you're on YouTube as well. I think that is it. No one else is that I haven't said good morning to. All right. So we're going to start. We're going to do 5 problems today for our math lesson. And again, we're going to be thinking about 2. Okay, 2. Oh, great, Fernanda, I haven't seen it, so great. The first thing that we're going to think about is the bar diagram. We have to break up the number, divide the number into parts. Okay, so that is one that we're looking at. Another way to estimate is to, and in that one, let me go back to the bar diagram. We're going to think about a compatible number. So a compatible number. A compatible number. So if I'm looking at 17 and 8, right? I want a number that's compatible with 8. What could I round 17 to? Hopefully you said this right. You can round it to 16 because 8 can be divided into 16 nicely. So that's one of the ways we're going to estimate today is using a bar diagram. Another way we're going to estimate. Hi, Cadence. Good morning. Glad to see that you're on. Another way we're going to estimate is by using a number line. Okay, so that's looking at 0, a half, and 1. Okay, and rounding the fractions. So if I have 7/8 and I want to see what is that closer to, I have 0 over 8, sorry. And then I have 8 over 8. I would round this to 1 because it's closer, right? But if I had 2 over 8, I'd round that to 0 because that's closer, right? And if I had, instead of 2 over 8 or 7 over 8, if I had 4 over 8, that would be a half, right? So I'd round it to a half. So we'll be using either a number line or a bar diagram to help us estimate, okay? Those are our 2 ways. So tell yourself, number line or bar diagram. That's what we're using. All right, so like I said, we're going to do 5 math problems. Make sure you have something that you can write on. Hi, Gabriel R. Good morning, Julian. Hopefully you're on YouTube as well. Okay, so we're going to do 5 problems. These are from our textbook, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first one I want us to look at is, don't need this one, 3/5 multiplied by 19. Okay, so looking at this, we know the multiplication sign is the same thing as of. We can put of. We want to see what is it equivalent to, right? That's when we're going to look at the bar diagram, and we're going to see what with this 5, what's a compatible number with this 5? What's a compatible number? We could change 19 to what? What is compatible with 5? Hopefully you said 20, miss, right? So I would say instead of 3/5 multiplied by 19, I'd say 3/5 multiplied by 20. Okay, so then we go here, and now I'm going to draw my bar, right? So once I've driven or wrote my bar, I'm going to have my 20. I'm going to change this up here so we can just stay focused. Okay, so I'm going to do 3/5 times 20 instead of the 19 because that's what's compatible. I'm going to put 20 here. Okay, we need to divide. What are we going to divide by? By this 5. We're going to divide the 20 by 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's not even, but you get it. Okay, so we're going to divide by the 5. So what goes into these 4? Good. Someone already said it. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we know 5 times 4 gives us 20, so we can check that, and we're good to go. But how much does it want us? How much do we need to add together? It says 3. So I have to get 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. I add this together. 4 plus 4 plus 4 gives me 20. So it's about, remember our lines like this, it's about, I wouldn't even say equal. So, well, yes, we'll say equal for that. But let's say if we have the actual problem before, we say it's equivalent to, remember those like squiggly lines? It's equivalent to about 20, okay? So that's what we're going to do using the number line. We have to find what is compatible. 19 wouldn't work. So we have to find what's compatible with the denominator. We divide that, we figure out how much do we need. It said 3, so we have to add the 3. So that's our first problem. Hopefully that was not too difficult for you. Nice job. I see a lot of us with the right answer on teams. Congratulations. So the next problem we're going to look at is where we're going to look at the number line. So we have 5/11 multiplied by 7/8. So this is where, why are you using a number line? That's because it's easier. It's less than 1. Fractions, these fractions are less than 1. So that's why we would do a number line. We have our 0, always, half, always, and 1. So if I think about plotting or rounding, first rounding, so we can plot 5/11 and 7/8, I have to round them. So 5/11 would be right about here, which is closer to a half, so I'm going to put a half. 7/8 closer to 1, so I put 1. Right? So that's what you would do with that. Then we know our answer would be a half, because 1 times anything, our Danny property, going back to that, is a half. So 2 ways. Bar diagram, where we're looking for compatible numbers, or we're using the number line, we're looking to see is it closer to 0, half, 1, and then we multiply it. So that's our second problem. We have 3 more to go, but this is all we're doing, boys and girls, is we are estimating the product. So let's look at some of the problems in your textbook, or some more problems. These are a little bit challenging, but we can get through it. So we have 2/3 multiplied by 26. So I would see, how can we make this compatible with 3? 26. How could we make this compatible with 3? What could we change the 26 to? What can 3 be divided to by a number close to 26? No, because 3 times 7 gives you 21. So we have to, that wouldn't work. 30. Yes, but we have something closer. Hey, nice job, Louise. 24. So yes, 30 is compatible, but we're trying to see how close we can get to the actual number. So I would go 2/3 multiplied by 24. 24 divided by 3. How much times does 3 go into 24? What? Not really on that one. 8, okay? 8 times. So I have 24 divided by our denominator, and then we're going to multiply by our numerator. So we divide here, because this is the same thing as if it was a 1, right? So if we just went over, we'd have to multiply larger numbers, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep it simple, okay? So we're going to take this denominator, we're going to divide it, like you said, was 8, right? So we have to take this number and multiply it by the numerator. So 8 times 2 gives us 16. So that's what we would say would be our answer. So Miss Wright, what are you saying? Let's review the steps. We found it's compatible. It's compatible by 24. So 24 divided by 3, that gives us 8. Are we going to always divide by the denominator? Yes, you're always going to divide by the denominator, okay? Then whatever number we have is right, are we going to multiply by the numerator? Yes, always going to multiply by the numerator. Then you get your answer, okay? So, good. I see, got the answer. Let's move on. That was our third problem. We're going to do a mixed number. So if I have 5 and 1/5 multiplied by 8 and 5/6. So now, like we talked about before, we're adding and subtracting. We're the same thing. This fraction is going to tell the whole number to either go up or stay the same. This fraction is going to tell the whole number to either go up or stay the same. So you can, hopefully you're starting to look and see, okay, 1/5, that's closer to 0, so this stays the same. If not, then that's not a problem. We draw our number line, 0, half, 1, and we plot to see what's closer, what number is closer to. So 1/5 would be about here, 1/5. So it doesn't do anything. We say 0, so it stays the same. So I'm going to put 5. Okay? 5/6, if I'm looking at this, and this would be 6/6, it'd be right about here, 5/6. So it's closer to 1, so the 8 has to go up, and it becomes a 9. Okay, so 5 multiplied by 9 is 45, and we're good to go. Easy peasy, right? So that's what we're doing. Whether you're multiplying a whole number and a fraction, or 2 fractions, or 2 mixed numbers, we know exactly what we need to do to estimate. All right, let's do one more problem. Hopefully you're letting it sink in inside your brain, sinking in, so you understand what we're doing with our problems. All right, last one for us. Okay, so I'll see what you guys want to do. We'll take a vote. So let me know if you want to do a problem with mixed numbers, so 5, 4, 5. This is just a problem I'm making up. If you want to do a problem like that, or if you want to do a problem where we're looking at 2 fractions, or if you want to do a problem where we're looking at a whole number times a fraction. Okay, so you want to do 1 mixed numbers, 2 fractions, or 3 where we're estimating a whole number and fraction. So you could just tell me which one you want, 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. I'll give you about 30 seconds to vote for our last problem today before we move into language arts. Okay, so I have one person, whole number and fraction. Okay, so 1 here. Mixed, I have 1 here. Thank you. 1, 2, 3 doesn't help me, so you have to pick one for time's sake. Oh, there we go. So 2 fractions, got it. Thank you. Let me know. You can only vote 1 time, so only 1 time. Okay, someone else said mixed numbers. Thank you so much. About 10 more seconds. Okay, someone else in here. Remember, I have office hours today from 1 to 2. I'll be on Teams, and if you're on Class Dojo and you just have a phone, you can always ask me a question and I can do the problem for you. Take a picture and send it to you on Class Dojo. So that's also an option. Okay, I have mixed again. Okay, so there we go. We're going to do a mixed problem. Thank you for voting. Again, if you're saying, hey, Mr. I want you to do one of these and I want you to do one of these, office hours are here for you to make sure you can get those problems, okay? All right, so you said mixed numbers. So we're going to do this problem. 2 and 2/3 multiplied by 3 and 1/6. Again, we're estimating. So we have to look at our fraction, tells the whole number what to do. Fraction tells the whole number what to do. Okay, you can look at your number line. Okay, so 2/3. This 2/3, what is it closer to? 0, half, or 1? What am I going to change this or estimate this number to? Thinking about, is the 2/3 closer to 0? Well, so if we look at the fraction, we have 0 over 3 plus 3 over 3. Looking at it, I wouldn't say it's closer because we have to say 0, 1, 2, 3. So what would we round it to? Okay, So boys and girls, some of you are still saying 0, but if I plotted it, 2/3 would be right here. So notice how far away it is from 0. So, okay, so a half, okay. So if it's a half, I'm with you, it would go up. So we're going to round this to a 3. I'm just going to put this over here. 3. Okay, cool. Now I have to change my fractions. Hopefully you're looking at this to see, oh, Miss Wright, that's right. 2/3 is closer to half or 1. We'd have to round it up. Now, let's look. I see you, Devin. Let's look. Nice job. Let's look at the next fraction. Some of us still might not understand, so let's write the fractions out. So this is 1/6. So 1 is 6/6. 0/6. Okay? We're looking to plot the 1/6. What is it closer to? Hopefully you're saying it's closer to 0, Miss Wright, because it would be right here. 1/6. So we're not going to do anything. We're going to keep this 3 a 3. So are you saying this right? Based on the number line and estimating, we would have 3 multiplied by 3. Yes, 3 multiplied by 3 equals 9. All right. So today on My Math, you're going to be watching videos about this, and hopefully you understand using the number line or the bar graph, whatever is easier for you. And again, if you're like, I need a little more help, office hours today from 1 to 2, excuse me. All right, we are moving on with language arts. There's a lot for us to go through, so make sure you have your workshop book. Go ahead and stretch out so you're ready to go to the next section. All right, so language arts. Today, we're going to review our 4 concepts. Our 4 concepts have a lot of information, so I'm hoping using the screen, you'll be able to follow along with me. All right, so the first one, let me show you where your notes are. All right, so on class notebook, it's here. You click on this arrow, you'll have ELA. Right, ELA, vocabulary, grammar, spelling, writing, thinking, maps, 4 concepts, and essential question. So hopefully you know where that's at. Devin has helped us numerous times to figure out where to get these notes. So hopefully you're not like, where are the class notes? I don't know where they're at. If so, maybe Devin can help you put it inside the post so he can help you figure out where to go. And thanks, Devin, for helping. So here we go with our 4 concepts. Like I said, there are a lot. There's a lot of information. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the first one. So we talked about this week we're looking at poems. And some of the aspects of a poem help you kind of feel what the author wanted. So with assonance, it's the repetition of the same vowel sound or two or more words. I will show you an example of that in our text. Also with consonants, it's the repetition of the final, or let me get closer, the final or the middle consonant. So a lot of times they'll have S at the end of the word. Okay, so let's look at an example in your textbook today. If you turn to page 438, you will find the poem To Travel. So I'll give you a couple seconds. If you have your workshop book, tell me on Teams when you're there. If not, then you can just, I'll try to see if I can read it to you without being in trouble. We know that all of this comes from McGraw-Hill, and it's not my information. So page 438, we're going to go ahead and move into this poem. Right, so looking at to travel, remember, assonance is the same vowel. So pages, ancient, entails, a, that long A sound is our assonance, the same vowel sound, right? Same vowel sounds. We also can see an example of the consonants. So consonants is the final middle sound. So this is kind of hard to see, especially since you guys it's on the computer. But pages ends with an S. Tails ends with an S. Eyes ends with an S. Paintings, museums, that's the middle, and walls and scenes. All of these are examples of consonants. Same final or middle consonant sound. Okay? Boys and girls, hopefully you're with me and you are following along with our language arts lesson. Now, looking at our notes, we also have different types of poetry. Because remember, one of your assignments is to find a poem. And I wonder if you're going to find a lyric poem or a narrative poem. So let's look at it. So a lyric poem expresses a person's thoughts, feelings, has a musical quality, and may include rhythm and rhyme, often contains imagery. So if you're looking, boys and girls, if you're looking at your textbook, you're going to see that there's two poems. The first poem that we're looking at, you will see that it is let me go back to the right page. A lyric poem. Because it talks about emotion, right? A feast for hungry eyes. A novel waves her arms to me. Come read. So this person's excited about traveling, right? The next poem, however, Wild Blooms, as you read it, boys and girls, you're going to see that it's a story. One bright summer morning, my grandmother asked me to help her plant some flowers. And it goes on and on and on and tells a story. So that's why it is considered a narrative poem. Last but not least, make sure you're looking at your notes. We have point of view. Point of view is always in pretty much every type of writing, whether it's a narrative or fiction, nonfiction. Point of view. What is the person trying to convey? So point of view, the individual speaks and tells you how they feel, right? Hopefully, I love the poem that I read from Luis. His poem, it was happy, right? So when you pick your poem and read on Flipgrid, hopefully you have a poem that it conveys an emotion. I read Robert Frost, one of the very, 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 very well-known poems, Two Roads Diverge, but two roads, right? And so it talks about, how you kind of have to deal with not knowing, right, which way you go. But if you choose the way, you kind of have to go with it. So again, point of view. Last one we were going to talk about is personification. Uses human characteristics to describe non-human things. Okay, so giving attributes to something that is not human, right? For example, the page waved at me. The pages waved at me as I went through the story. Pages, a book cannot wave, right? Waving is something that humans do. So those are our four concepts. I will ask for you to do a for concept, right, using a Word document. That will be one of your assignments to do to complete today. All right, so we went through a lot. Now, what I want to show you as our last thing before we have our joke for today is I want you to look at your sources for your essay. You need to look at your sources for your essay. So where do you get that, Miss Wright? I'm going to show you. So here at the top, you can see that it has files, class, notebook. You're going to go to files. Files at the top. Files, files at the top. Find that, please. Make sure you know where we're at. When you're with the files, you're going to click on resources. Click on resources. Files, click on resources. So tomorrow's Earth Day, you can take a look at some of the items you can do tomorrow. And last but not least, here is the resources that Mr. Davis has given us to help figure out our essay. So I click on resources for the essay, and you can see that there's different videos that you can watch, and there's also a couple of texts that you can read. This is, I can't put these in the post because it'd just be too much. So you need to make sure you go again to files, go to resource, you click on essay resources right here. And that's where you can look to see. Remember, you're creating your thoughts. Should there be a zoo? You need to figure out, hey, why? Yes, because I think this, right? What are some sources that support your thought and your point of view? Okay? So boys and girls, thank you for
how many reasons do they need to give?
At least 3. So have at least 3 reasons from your sources to help you. And there's plenty of sources there that can help you write your essay. We're not in the writing stage, we're in the research stage. Okay? Tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to start doing our rough draft. But that's why, boys and girls, you have to look at your sources to figure out, okay, if you have a stance, why? Why do you feel the way you do? What supports your thoughts? This off. Turn this off. Is it off? It's off. Okay, the light is on. Oops, is it? There it is.
All right, I got 2 coming for you today.
2, since he missed yesterday.
The first.
Oh wait, it says you're not connected. Hold on. Well, we try to reconnect you. Hey, you're back on.
All right. What do you call a race car driver whose name is Kim?
Kim Kardashian.
Oh,
yes!
Man.
Yes, yes, yes. High five, Miss Wright. Thanks. Okay.
All right, second one. What do you call a sleeping T-Rex?
Sleep, I don't know dinosaurs. I don't know.
A dino snore.
There you go, boys and girls. Your 2 jokes for today. I did email some people regarding us reading, so hopefully that will happen. Tomorrow, you want to make sure you're here for our librarian. We're going to try it again. She's going to read to us. Hopefully, we don't get cut off. That's our hope. And Mr. Bolton should be reading to us after the lesson, so make sure you're here tomorrow at 9. Have a good day. Be kind to each other. Do your assignments. And I'm proud of you guys. Keep working really hard.
That's
Bye.
Right.
Breeza said, good joke, Mr. Good jokes, Mr. Bolton.
Thanks, Breeza.